fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at these set of 6 Katrox Armor Hero figures from Aldi. No, not that Aldi. I picked these up on AliExpress after my friend Corey showed me these. I wasn't too familiar with the show, so I kind of went back and started watching it on YouTube. Apparently the show is like 9-10 years old at this point, so I think these were kind of made because of the 10th anniversary. I've also noticed some other Armor Heroes stuff starting to be released, like the Roleplay Morpher and things like that, which is kind of cool. So I'm hoping maybe by the time, Legend Heroes anniversary comes around, we can get some figures similar to these for that, because I really like that show as well. But the set of 6 here includes Armor Hero Emperor Hero, Dragon Man, Eagle Man, Rhino Man, Tiger Man, and Mastiff Man. So I'm at the point in the show where I think all of these have shown up except maybe Emperor Hero. I'm not 100% sure who that is, but these other characters have showed up, and they look pretty cool. And apparently these are like Soto Yudo scale figures, but there's no stickers or anything, so I'm really excited about that. The packaging is really cool. You have this kind of nice holofoil Armor Hero on the front with a nice picture of the character. Kind of a profile shot on both sides, and then over here showing you how to attach the pieces and the other pieces that are included. You get a couple sets of hands and it looks like a display base. Now these did come from AliExpress, so some of the boxes are a little worse for wear, but for the most part they look pretty good. So I'm excited for these. I'm going to go ahead, put them all together, and then we'll take a closer look. So here they are out of the boxes and fully assembled. It does take a decent amount of time to assemble them. We'll start here with Dragon Man, but I think they really came out great. Honestly, there are no stickers. Just like I said, everything is paint applications. You do have a decent amount of assembly. Like I was saying, you kind of have to attach the 2 parts of the legs, and then you have to pop them into the knee joint, attach the feet. You have these little pieces that peg into the sides of the thighs. 2 pieces for the belt, 2 pieces for the armor. He's also got this red piece here on the back. Certain characters have other various pieces, but shoulders, and the shoulder connection is actually very similar to Soto. So if I can pop in here, you can kind of see how that shoulder armor connects on there. It's kind of that like cylinder piece, and then it clips on. You have to pop the forearm pieces in, then the hands go into that, pop the head on, and then he's got his signature weapon here. But yeah, they really came out great. I mean, again, it's all paint, no stickers. While it is a little time consuming to put them together, everything snaps together very securely, really holds together rather nicely. I'm really happy with them. Articulation wise, head is on a ball joint, so don't have a ton of front to back, but you can certainly spin side to side, no problem. Can't really tilt side to side all that much. As I talked about, you can pull the arms out if you need to get more articulation there, otherwise they push back in. You have the shoulder piece on a little bit of a hinge so that when you move the arm out to the side, it moves along with it. You have a bicep swivel, 90 degrees there in the elbow. The hand is technically on a ball joint, the way it pegs in. So you can see that there. And you do get some alternate hands, and I'll show them off in a minute. You have a waist swivel here. Nice ball joints here in the hip, so you can kick pretty far forward. Move the arm out of the way. Pretty far out to the side there. You do have a thigh swivel as well. 90 degrees. I'd say even over 90 degrees a little bit there in the knee. And then you have a ball joint in the ankle, so you can kind of get nice tilt out of that because they are kind of beveled on the side towards the inside. Little bit of front to back. Certainly swivel side to side, no problem. So really, really nice articulation, and they feel solid. They don't feel loose. I don't have any problems. He's holding the weapon here very nice and securely. Yeah, just all in all, I think these really came out great. I'm really, really happy with them. So let me talk about the bases a little bit. I'm going to stand Dragon Man off to the side here so I can talk about these bases. Come on, stand up. There we go. So all of the bases are exactly the same. They're made out of this translucent black plastic. It's minorly translucent, honestly. When you look at it, it's not. So it's got a little bit of kind of a smoky opaqueness to it. But you've got 2 peg holes here, so if you want to just peg them directly into the base, you can. You also have a stand here, which is on a ball joint. And then you have this peg here, so there's like a peg here, and then there's these 2 other pieces here, and then there's this one, and this has a swivel. So you have a lot of options there to connect And he does have, and all the characters have, a peg hole in the back of the belt. So if for some reason you wanted to peg him in over here, although this one's a little snug, maybe this one fits on really nice and easy. And then having them peg into the bottom is pretty simple as well. It's just a matter of lining up the hole in the bottom of the feet, but there you go. So I'm not really sure. These other pegs, I guess maybe they're a little bit bigger. They don't really seam it, but yeah, I guess they are a little bit wider. So I'm not quite sure what these on the side are for, but this one definitely fits into the belt very simply. And the other thing that's kind of cool, they open up and you can store the extra hands in here. So you get a closed fist set of hands. Then you get kind of like an angled closed fist set of hands, so you can kind of like point weapons at people. And then you get a open set of hands. So there are 4 extra hands in here, plus the 2 that are on the figure right now, for a total of 3 sets. Yeah, the bases are pretty cool. I really appreciate the storage. Be a little careful because these don't, some of these clip in a little better than others. As far as like if you're trying to move them around by this, sometimes the bottoms fall off. And let me pop Rhino Man off here for a second so I can show you that with 2 bases, you can actually connect them together. You see that they have tabs. So if you want to connect them together like that. Again, it's not a ridiculously secure connection, so I wouldn't... I mean, you can... Well, there you go. I was going to say I wouldn't move them like by grabbing just one, but you can also connect them front to back if you want, which is kind of cool. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that you can, you know, connect them and move them around and everything like that. So we'll put Dragon Man back. Since I already took him off, we'll check out Rhino Man next. He also looks fantastic. Really nice paint. Plus I like the color scheme. You have this kind of fluorescent yellow with the black and the gray, and then a little bit of white here for the rhino horns. I also like how the shoulders aren't symmetrical. I think that's really cool. Articulation is going to be exactly the same as Dragon Man. They really all have the same articulation because they all kind of use the same base body. It comes in the packaging with the torso and the thighs already connected, and then you just snap on the legs and the forearms and all the other pieces. But yeah, really, really sharp. He's got this large staff weapon. I guess it's a spear. So you should have no trouble if you want him to hold this with 2 hands. It's a little difficult to get the weapon into the hands sometimes because they're kind of large. And this is really bending the thumb on me. Come on, buddy. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. So you can kind of pose this two-handed since it's so large. But yeah, very, very cool. I like him a lot. So like I said, I've been watching the show. I'm about 15 to 20 episodes in. Dragon Man is kind of the main character we start with. Then we get into Eagle Man, and then we get into Rhino Man. But I really, really like Dragon Man. I think this is really cool armor. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased because it's blue, and blue is my favorite color. But he's got this cool thing going on here where his forearm actually has like the weapon inside of it. And so you get a piece here where the weapon's attached to the forearm and it's in the sword mode. But you also get the normal forearm. And then also on the show, the blade sinks back in, and then these 2 pieces flip out and rotate down, and it becomes like a crossbow. So you actually get all 3 versions of the right forearm, which I think is really cool. Now, it is a little difficult to pop these off. They're kind of snug. Oh, that was a little better than usual. And then you just pop this one on instead. And they have like weird connections so that you can only pop it on one way. And when I first took mine out of the packaging, this arm was rotated 180, so I had to make sure that it was the correct way. But then you can have it in the crossbow mode, and then you would just need to take the hand out and pop that in here. Likewise, if you wanted to put the normal forearm on. So I think that's really cool. I appreciate that he comes with both versions of his weapon. I'm going to put the sword back on because that's my favorite one. And it can be a little difficult, especially once you have all the other armor on, but you can definitely get it back on there. Now, the other thing that he has, these pieces can come off, which it can be a little snug, but I promise they do come off. They're supposed to come off. Ah, hopefully I didn't just break that. It's a really snug connection, but he can take these off and use them as like thrown weapons. At least he does on the show. So you kind of pop this here and then it clips in very snugly. It's kind of hard to do though because these are kind of pointy, so it's a little difficult to get this in. What I like to do is kind of put my finger on the inside here and then kind of hook it on the back and then pop this on and it should snap into place. So it's a little difficult to get those off, but those are also thrown weapons. And I just love the helmet. I think that looks really, really cool. Eagle Man is definitely my favorite armor. Kind of got the eagle face here. Got the 2 weapon options. And just all in all, he came out really great. I wish there was somewhere to store these pieces on the base. Maybe that's what, maybe there is a like a little connection there. Maybe this is what this is for. Okay, cool. That'll store there. And then maybe I can put the forearm piece in here. I don't know if it's big enough. Okay, that'll work. There we go. So, very cool. I like that we have storage for everything. Next up, we'll take a look at Tiger Man, which I really thought... Now, see, his base doesn't connect. Or maybe, do I have it on backwards? Maybe that's why. Oh, no, it looks like there's no clip on the other side. This one looks like maybe it came broken and there's no clip, and that's why it's not connecting very strongly. But that's all right. It'll still sit on with gravity. But I was going to say, I swear he had like tiger claw weapons on the show, but instead they gave him this massive sword here, which still looks pretty cool. I really like the look of Dragon Man as well. He's got a great color scheme with the gold and the blue. I think that's cool. Really cool helmet design. Feet look great. So kind of one of the more simplistic designs. He doesn't have like a ton of back kibble or anything. But still, I think he looks great. Happy to add him to the collection here. And then next up we have Mastiff Man. Whoop, there you go. His top came off as well. This looks like this also doesn't have a clip. So maybe this one is a little broken as well. But apparently I'm told Mastiff is a kind of dog. So I did not know that going into this. But I really love the purple paint there for the eyes. That just really pops. Because he's got kind of a mostly silver color scheme. But he's got these little pops of purple. Like the eyes of the dog shoulder pads. The purple here. His eyes just really look sharp. He comes with this giant axe, which looks really cool. And just all in all, I like this a lot. And like I said, they feel really sturdy. And I don't really have to worry about any kind of looseness or anything like that. I'm noticing that all of the weapons kind of have these little connection points. So I guess you can store all of the weapons on the bases, which is pretty cool. But yeah, he looks great. And then the last one, I'll be honest, I don't know that well. Because I don't think this armor has popped up on the show yet. But this is Emperor Hero. And it looks like he might have like the powers of all the others. Because he's got this belt here that's got spot for all 5 of the crystals. So I'm assuming this is some kind of like power up of like all of them coming together. But I could be wrong about that. But you got this great shield, which is really nicely painted. Now I will say this comes with a handle, that piece that you plug into the back, that's really wide. And it's very difficult to get the hand to hold it. But once you do, it works out great. I love this sword. I think that looks really cool. Again, all of these pieces just peg in. There's no paint whatsoever. I'm sorry, there's no stickers. There's a lot of paint. Paint is good. Now, the only problem is when he's on the base, this piece on the back, you kind of have to turn sideways, or you can leave it off completely. But he can't peg into the base when he has this on the back. I mean, I could peg him into the pegs here on the bottom, which I guess I'll just do. But yeah, it's a really cool armor. I'm wondering if Dragon Man is going to get to like have the others combined with him, because the helmet is kind of similar. But I don't know. I have to get there on the show, so we'll see. But it's a really cool armor, and it looks fantastic. So I'm honestly really happy with all of these. Like I said, I got them on AliExpress. I don't remember. I think it was like $60 for the set of 6, which I don't think is that bad. I mean, $10 a piece for fully painted Soto type figures. I mean, most Soto figures are like a combination of 2 boxes, and they're about $5 to $7 a box. So I feel like the price is kind of right up there with Soto. But they are fully painted, nice accessories, great articulation. They come with the bases, which I really appreciate. The bases have the storage and the ability to connect, which is something Soto is kind of getting to. But yeah, I got really nothing to complain about these. These are a lot of fun, and I really, really like them quite a bit. So I want to do some size comparisons for you real quick. This is a 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe O-ring figure recently from Hasbro. This is a Shoto double cross figure. I have a Magic Square 4-inch Swindle, and then I have a Soto Shinobi. So I do have Dragon Man in a little bit of a squat pose here, but as you can see, they're pretty much in the same size region as Soto and Shoto, probably a little bit somewhere in between. Yudo is probably even slightly larger, so they're all kind of in the relative space. So I really like these figures, and I feel like they'll scale well with everything else I usually collect. I think this is a really cool set. I definitely recommend checking these out, especially if you're a fan of the show. I had never seen the show before I found out about these figures and started watching the show after I had ordered them, because it took a decent amount of time for them to get here from AliExpress. And it's kind of a fun show. It is available on YouTube. It is dubbed, and the dub is kind of comically bad, but at the same time, the action is really cool. So I definitely, recommend checking it out. Probably don't have to watch the entire show if you don't want to, but at least check out a couple episodes, just because it's some pretty cool Toku action, and the suits are really good, and these figures are really, really fun, and they scale kind of really well with Soto and Shoto if you collect any of that. So very much in that 3 3/4 inch, 4-inch scale. And yeah, I'm having a blast with them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.